Go over a few things today. I want to touch on one of my favorite topics today, which is atheists, abiogenesis, and biological evolution. So let's get started. The topic for this presentation, I'm going to break it down even further: atheists and their statements of faith. So I hope that came out to you clear. Atheists and their statements of faith. I challenge atheists and anyone that have a belief system say they ain't in control, but they lie on where they got it from and how do they attest to it. Now, I go out for those who believe in evolution and abiogenesis and ask a simple question. And those who believe in abiogenesis the most, I feel straightforward question. Yet they still seem to fail to answer the question. And my question is this: can abiogenesis and biological evolution be investigated and evaluated using the scientific method? And if so, to what extent? So I think it's pretty straightforward. Can they change? Can they heal? Or is the cycle just a crooked? Then I go and I say, tell me how are we supposed to trust when the system too soft, leaving victims. What I have been getting back is more personal attacks, my speech, how I look, what they think of my education. So I say to them, it appears that you cannot or will not answer the question. So you go on personal attacks. When they do, their statement collapses under its own weight. Because you can turn around and say the same thing and analyze their statement. And that's what we're going to do for a little part here today. What is their belief? They come back and say, prove God. That's a tactic that is used by many that don't understand science. They say there is no such thing as metaphysical, while simultaneously their claim is metaphysical because it's unscientific. They cannot prove that there is nothing beyond matter or the material. The claim that only material explanations are valid is in itself metaphysical. It is not a scientific conclusion. It is a philosophical, theoretical one, imposed on science. They think they're shielding themselves in the cloak of science. They are not. Science describes physical processes. It does not rule out or can. It cannot. It does not rule out, nor can it say that something exists beyond physical. Saying only the material is real is not an experimental demonstration of knowledge. It is their flawed worldview on display. It is their belief. They're making a faith statement. They're making a belief statement. They believe there is nothing beyond the physical. Checking the dose, medicate them up, then they free to go. What if they abiogenesis and macroevolution? Go a little deeper. They say, and this is very silly in of itself, that they demand that we prove that God exists. Show us God. In the same way that you would show in the laboratory a chemical reaction. Clearly misunderstand each category. One, God, by definition, is not a physical object inside the universe. Demanding a physical demonstration of a non-physical claim is a category error in which they make many. It is like demanding a ruler measurement of justice, love, and consciousness. Those are real, yet they are not test tube objects. They do not fall into the physical realm. Their reality of those concepts is established by rational, philosophical, and experimental evidence, not laboratory synthesis. You cannot bring them to be in a laboratory. Which brings me to natural selection, which only explains variation within a species or kind. Abiogenesis and macroevolution is not a settled fact like they claim, in the way that gravity or thermodynamics are. They are research programs built around unresolved core problems. The origin of life has never been experimentally demonstrated. No laboratory has ever produced a living cell. It had never produced a coded genetic information demonstration or a self-replicating biological system from non-living chemistry. Judge Ward, Francis Crick, Eugene Koonin, and Paul Davies have all acknowledged that in print that the origin of life remains unexplained, and in Crick's words, that it appears at the moment to be almost a miracle. That is not ignorance, that is the scientific record of where we stand in abiogenesis. I don't care if it was made in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, it is still fact. They have not moved forward. They only have shown, the more they have gone into DNA, it's a coded information. And information theory shows that information comes from information. It doesn't come from nothing. The system too soft, leaving victims in dust. No way out. No. That shows their ignorance. That is the scientific record. Yet I am sure that they still have claims that these scientists, they seem to know more, I should say, than these scientists. You take a life, you pay that price. Now, belief in God, as they say, is a cult. Because the streets ain't safe when killers outside. Or is belief in an imaginary friend. However, natural selection explains variation after life already exists. It does not explain the origin of life, the origin of the genetic code, and the origin of consciousness. Treating it as it does is a theoretical extrapolation, not an experimental demonstration. Their extrapolation then functions as a metaphysical move in their position. They are using metaphysics to explain their non-metaphysic world. Now, materialism is ruled by assumptions. Believing in God as cult or imaginary friend is not an argument. It is rhetoric. It avoids addressing the actual theoretical questions. Where did biological information come from? Why does a rational mind exist in a material universe? Why do objective moral objections exist? Why does mathematics map reality so precisely? They cannot bring anything back to the table. They only argue to argue. If you kill, then you're guilty, no doubt. No way out. So this is a short one, but I thank you for watching. And to close, I'm trying to summarize this. Their stance, the atheists, the materialists, the secularists, their stance on materialism does not answer these questions that we pointed out. It assumes them, anyway, assumptions, as we stated before. So the irony is this. They accuse others of metaphysics while standing entirely on an unproven metaphysical foundation of their own. Their belief that matter is all that exists, that information arose from non-information, and that reason emerged from non-reason. That is not science. That is their faith, and those that wear the lab coat. The atheists have high priests also. So, thanks everyone. Please like, please share, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. What would you like to learn? What would you like to challenge me on? What would you like to know? Where should we go from here? Talk to us. Let us know what's going on. We appreciate you. So, with that, without any further ado, God bless and have a blessed day.